Six friends hire a medium to hold a seance via Zoom during lockdown, but they get far more than they bargained for as things quickly go wrong. When an evil spirit starts invading their home, they begin to realize they might not survive the night. What's going on, Flicks Talkers? Welcome back to another movie review, this time for the Shudder original Host. Now, this did come out July 30th, 2020. Like I said, it's a Shudder exclusive, so if you guys don't have the streaming service Shudder, I believe it's $5.99 a month. I would definitely recommend, and I'm not sponsored in any way, but I do recommend you guys pick it up if you are horror fans. And this also might be another selling point, guys. For those of you that have ADHD like I do, it's only 57 minutes long, and it is rated R. Now, on a side note, a few of you guys might be asking, why is it only 57 minutes long? Because the length of the Zoom call, I believe, is 40 to 50 minutes long for the free version. So they try to make this as real time as possible, and I actually really appreciated it for that. All right, guys, now this film is directed by Rob Savage, who I have no clue about his works previous, other than he does do shorts, a couple of features, and more commercials. So I believe this is his actual debut as far as more eyes seeing this project, and that's totally fine. I will take a chance on someone absolutely new if they dazzle me. So before I get into my pros and cons of Host, make sure you guys are following all of my social medias down below. I'll have them on the screen, as well as hitting that thumbs up button, guys, down below, and hitting that subscribe and bell notification to get notified about future content like this. All right, guys, so let's just jump right into the elephant in the room. It is a Shudder original, so maybe a lot of you guys might not be able to see this one. And also on the flip side of the coin, Shudder originals to me are hit or miss. So let that sink in a bit and let you guys know that every single original from them is not a winner. So I would kind of throw this in the Blumhouse category as far as you got some hits, you got some misses. And I will say right off the gate, I think this is more of a hit, and I will go over my pros in 1 second, but right out the gate, I don't like these paranormal or even these unfriended type of stylistic films. I think they're extremely just commercial and just so easy to make, and just anybody can make a movie like this, but the way they pulled it off to a current audience and the current climate that we are living in, they do tie it into COVID and lockdown, which was something that was cool. A little different than what we saw like in Unfriended or an Unfriended Dark Web, and that's totally fine. I know these movies are probably technically hard to make, or maybe it's just going over my head, but it looks like it would be hard to kind of, get some visual effects, CGI, or even some practical effects, along with keeping the storyline of this Zoom call that is in real time. And that just jumps right into my pros, guys, was the tackling of a seance. Something that I'm not really 100% invested in. I'm not really into witches. I'm not really into voodoo. I'm not really into spells or anything of that nature, unless you guys are talking about Hocus Pocus, because that's my shit. But other than that, I really don't dabble that much into the world of the dark arts. So it was something that had me like, nah, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. But once they started diving deep into this, it happens like right away in the first 15 minutes, by the way. Like I said, it has to. It's only 57 minutes long. So that was cool because you do get a group of girls. These are fresh faces, at least to me. I don't recognize really much that they're in, or at least offhand, I really didn't know. So that's always refreshing because I'm getting a first take account of their acting ability. And what do I have to say about the casting? Jump into my pros. I thought it was really well done. There wasn't a girl on here that I didn't believe that she was in some kind of trouble when things started happening. So I really did like the way things went when everything started going down, guys. And that jumps to another pro, is the use of practical effects in there, whether it's a girl being pulled by a chair or even pulled by her legs by an invisible entity. I thought it was done very well. A lot of pictures going around on social media of a scene from this film where they do use a practical filter that you guys can, implement an AR, I believe, on your computer or like in Snapchat. So I thought that was cool because it is relatable. It is realistic to technology going on in 2020. So I appreciate him for that, for tackling that and knocking it off pretty well, because I feel like that would be technically, once again, hard to do on a low budget scale. All right, so as far as my pros, there you have it. Once again, this is under an hour, guys, so I can't really tackle too many things that I did like. So it was more of the casting, it was more of the practical and just special effects that were happening throughout this Zoom call. Now, jumping to my dislikes. Now, once you actually saw a face, a figure other than an invisible entity, it looked totally goofy. I won't lie. It looked like some kind of cannibal holocaust creature, a villager, something of that nature. And it kind of sucked me out a little bit. I would have done with more of something that was an invisible entity, you know, the whole time around. But instead they chose to use, you know, invisible plus an actual, you know, visible creature, something that just had, you know, crazy teeth. And we got a lot of jump scares with that, or some fake out jump scares. So it wasn't reinventing the wheel when it comes to horror, but I will say overall, guys, this was a more enjoyable watch than Unfriended. And I have to keep going back to Unfriended because that's the only movie that I know that did tackle subject nature like this on the computer, other than the film Searching, which was a more dramatic film. So that was a little bit different than this. And I thought they did it a lot better, obviously, in that, because they're, you know, going through Facebook and different, you know, Skype and stuff like that. This one is specifically Zoom and the different windows, you know, being affected in this Zoom call, and the girls being attacked, pulled, you know, their head getting smashed against the screen and stuff like that. So those effects were pretty cool, once again, because it is relatable to us being in quarantine in these times. So we can all kind of relate and understand what's going on screen. Now, all of that being said, guys, Rotten Tomatoes did give this a 100% initially, I think a week after it came out. And that had everyone so skeptical, saying Rotten Tomatoes is throwing out 100% left and right. Give me a 100. I want a 100. Give me a 100. You know, I'll buy a 100. Why not? And I think that's what some of the marketing did. I think someone over there was buying 100s. And that's never good to do, guys, especially when you have 30, 40 reviews and they're all at 100. Makes me a little weary. That's all I got to say. So I went in this not thinking it's going to be a 100, and guess what? I was right. I did not think this was a 100% movie. If best, I'd probably say a 70% movie. I think they tried their best working with what they had, low budget, no name actors, no name director, and it came out fine. It was perfectly suited for Shudder as a Shudder original. So on that note, I am going to say my overall watch experience, my rating will be a 3 out of 5, saying definitely check it out if you guys are around, especially with some drinking friends. I was actually watching it in the comfort of my bed with my girlfriend, and we were pulling up the covers, covering our ears, knowing something was going to happen. And I think for that, they did their job. That's what they wanted to do, and that's what they intended to do, and it left off on a scary note. So because of that, 3 out of 5 once again. All right, guys, have you seen Host? Do you guys plan to see it soon? Preferably at night with the lights off, guys. Let me know in the comments below, and make sure you guys are following me on all of my social medias. They are in the description down below as well. And if you guys did appreciate my review on Host, please give me a thumbs up. It always does help the channel, and it spreads this video to more and more people. And if you guys do like my content on this channel, consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification today. All right, guys, I'm gone. Till next video. Peace.